Welcome to Owen Field. Barry Tramel along with Jenni Carlson, where about an hour and a half ago the Oklahoma Sooners dismantled the Nebraska Cornhuskers 62-28. And more amazingly, Texas Tech pulls off a stunning victory down in Lubbock over top-ranked Texas, giving the Sooners a new life in the Big 12 title race. Jenni, wild night during the game, a crazy game, but then theatrics after the game.
Yeah, one of the most amazing things I saw all night after that opening flurry of Oklahoma's was the way that the people stayed after the game and watched the Texas Tech game. I happened to be under the stands, and clustered around every TV, which was on that game, people by the dozens were gathered around those TVs watching. People were cheering, going crazy, moaning when Texas would do something that they didn't want, obviously, them to do. It was just amazing to see the way people stuck around. They'd obviously watched the game that was here on this field, then that game with the magnitude of it, people sticking around to watch that, and the cheers that went up when Texas Tech scored at the end, it was amazing.
Well, it was a wild night. It reminded me a little bit of 30 years ago. Bedlam Saturday, Oklahoma had lost to Nebraska a week or two earlier. Sooners beat Oklahoma State in the Bedlam game, and Missouri upset Nebraska that day. Everyone sitting around cheering for Missouri, put Oklahoma back in the Orange Bowl. So the Sooners get a big lift from Texas Tech. But, for this to pay off, the Sooners are going to have to win out. I think playing the way they did tonight, they can do that. Defense was very stingy early. Turnovers really got the game out of control. Sam Bradford was unbelievable. Jenni, the defense ends up giving up a lot of yards, 28 points. But overall, the defense put this game in Oklahoma's hands pretty early.
Yeah, I thought an outstanding performance by the defense. You know, some of those points and yards were coming with second-teamers and when things were really out of hand. So, it still counts against them, but you look at what the defense did to set the tone early, and it was really a dominant performance. Dom Franks on the opening play of the game, that first defensive play that they had, jumping out on a pass and returning it to the end zone. They scored, I think, 3 seconds after Nebraska had gotten the ball. So just an amazing turn of events there. And then they kept it up, getting a fumble and coming up and turning it around, and offense scores right away on that. It was really high energy, I thought, from this defense, and the kind of play that I think we've sort of been wanting to see out of them. And if they can keep that up, the offense shows no signs of slowing down. If the defense can keep up that kind of play, good things are going to happen. Austin English injured in this game. We'll have to see where that's going. But all in all, I have to think they like what they did, especially early on in this game.
Well, just total domination. And, we talk a lot about all the points given up by the defense. But it's an offensive era. Oklahoma scores 55 in the first half last week against Kansas State. Well, they got 49 tonight on Nebraska in the first half. It was 49 points in the first half by Oklahoma, and then a cruise control after that. Bob Stoops didn't want to embarrass his old pal Bo Pelini. But Sam Bradford, only in this year of 2008 could Sam Bradford throw 5 touchdowns, 311 passing yards, and everyone sort of shrug and say, maybe he'll do better next week. So I got to think, though, Jenni, Colt McCoy struggled mightily in the first half at Lubbock, caught fire in the second half, almost led a great comeback. But seems not only is the Big 12 title race back in the wide open, maybe the Heisman race as well.
I definitely think so. You had Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford, Graham Harrell, who were all right there at the start of the week with Tim Tebow, sort of an afterthought at fourth. And then maybe you're looking at a Michael Crabtree or a Des Bryant. Both of those guys had great games today. I think those same guys probably end up in the mix, but I don't think it's a runaway for Colt McCoy, which if Texas would have won that game and he'd have been behind the comeback, which he would have been, obviously, I think it's his. I think, basically it all stops there unless something really crazy happens the rest of the way for Texas and Colt McCoy. He wins. Now, I think it is wide open, and it's going to be really interesting to see because Texas Tech has some of its toughest games left. Obviously, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma remain. So they've still got some work left for him. If Graham Harrell or Michael Crabtree can have some great performances down the stretch, I think they're right in it. It's going to be really interesting now to see what happens with the Heisman race.
Well, going to be fun down the stretch. Next week, Oklahoma State goes to Tech. 2 weeks after that, Texas Tech comes to Norman. The week after that, OU goes to Stillwater. So lots of Big 12 showdowns left. Best news of all for the Sooners, though, kickoff city tonight. No problems in the kickoff game. Matthew Moreland's kicks are all got inside the 6-yard line. No returns past the 30-yard line. One went out of bounds. but the Sooners even solved their kickoff problem. So a great night all around for Oklahoma football. That's going to do it for us. Jenni Carlson, Barry Tramel. Check out more coverage in the Oklahoman and on newsok.tv.